welcome to the first media consulting podcast, The Business Chronicles, where we dive deep into the stories of successful business owners. Here's your host, Didi and Nicholas. Thanks for joining today. Let's talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. I am just so excited to bring to you Roger Perron. He's the executive producer of All TV Network. Good morning, Roger. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Didier. How are you feeling?
I am doing good, man. Thank you for asking. I kind of I love your name, first of all. We kind of joke a little bit about, the French.
Well, our families come from the same place, kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's kind of dive in a little bit. Tell our listeners a little bit about your background, if you will.
Well, if you see that card behind me, that house right there is in the state of Rhode Island, in Harrisville, Rhode Island. It's called the Conjuring house. I am the father of 5 daughters and a wife that lived in that house for 10 years, and they made the movie The Conjuring.
Are you serious?
I keep it on my card because I love to look at that house. I wish I had never left it. So, yeah, I'm serious.
Wow.
You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not.
Well, if you see the movie The Conjuring, you'll see my name many, many times. So
That's interesting.
But I just love the picture of the house. That's why it's on my business card. And
Absolutely. It is actually a pretty house.
it still is. Although they have changed it considerably. They took the white paint off and all that. And made it look like it was an antique and so forth. Well, it is an antique. It was built in 1736.
It was built back in 1736. Wow.
And it had, according to the Pope, who sent a priest there, he checked the whole house out. Said he couldn't help me because there were too many spirits. Between 30 and 40 spirits he counted. That's how many people were there in that 300-year period. So it was built during the time that the British controlled this country. So,
wow, that's interesting in terms of history, right?
that's true. Very true.
Thanks for kind of sharing a little bit about that. That's an interesting story. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about your background? What's All TV Network?
All TV Network is a way to help small businessmen in this world. Whatever I do for them helps their businesses in such a way that they can produce for themselves and their families. I've been doing this for approximately 26 years, and I love doing it. And no matter how old I get, I'll probably continue doing this to help those small business people.
Very good. So what inspired you to start your business?
Well, I moved to Florida about 28 years ago, and I planned on doing something else when I got here, and then it didn't work out that well. So I called the vice president of home shopping, and he happened to be a friend of mine because I was in the jewelry business at those days, doing a lot of business for home shopping. And Bud Paxton was his name. He's since passed away. But I told him what had happened to me financially, and I was robbed. Okay. And he said, well, why don't you come to work for me? I said, but I could never work for you. He says, well, how about working with me? I says, doing what? He says, doing television. I says, I don't know anything about television. He says, I'm going to introduce you to a man that will teach you about television. And he introduced me to that man, and we worked together faithfully for quite a few years. And at that point, he had sold all of his radio stations and started the television industry. So he became even a closer friend than when he worked with Home Shopping. But that gave me an opportunity to get to know a lot of these business people. At that point, Orlando was not what it is today.
Right.
It's grown considerably. And I feel very good that I helped a lot of these people run their businesses. I have people that have been with me for 10, 12, 11, 13 years. As a matter of fact, awesome. I lost one about a month ago. He says, Roger, he says, I'm so sorry. He says, but I've got 18 boats waiting to get in here, and I can't take them in here because I've got too much business. He says, can we drop the advertising for a little while? And I says, well, man, you've been with me 7 years. I'm glad I was able to help you. And eventually one day you will return. And he says, that's a guarantee. And I helped him build that business. He repaired and took care of boats for many years, but I built the business for him.
Isn't that exciting, Roger, that you can, your story of helping business owners get to the next level in their business in terms of creating awareness? How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel good because I really don't have any competition. The cost of advertising with me is far less than it would ever be with just about every television network in the country. I help people all over the country, as a matter of fact. I can put them on TV in Los Angeles. I can put them on TV in Providence, Rhode Island. I can do that, whatever they would like to do. So all they have to do is contact me, and I guarantee you, I will help them build their business. That's with me for so long.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing this with our listeners. What is something about your leadership style that surprises people?
Well, the problem that I have, the biggest problem that I have is when I go to see somebody, like Yusuf was a prime example. They look at me and they have doubts in their mind when I give them the cost, because I don't charge for creating the commercial. I don't, that's free. When I give them the cost of doing the commercial, they look at me as if to say, this guy's crooked. That this is impossible. He can't charge such a little amount. And so I have some people that I can't do business with because they don't trust me. They don't trust the price. But now I've learned that I can control that in certain ways by showing them others that have been with me. So when they believe them, they believe me. No problem. And I help these businesses grow.
And business is all about building trust, right? And over the many years of you doing this and all the knowledge that you have that you bring to the table, when you start talking to these business owners, they understand that you really, truly, believe in what you're doing and you want to help them. So that's awesome.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So I would assume the secret to your success is building relationships, right, with your clients?
That's exactly right. I see them every week. I bring them their spot times and show them, because to be honest with you, I get them a lot of free stuff too. And
that always helps.
They can choose commercials or they can choose broadcasting. I can give them a half hour or 1 hour program. Whatever they would like to do, I can make and run. I've built churches this way. Like on a Sunday morning, I'll broadcast churches, and the ministers are so happy to see what happens.
I love it. I love that. So let's jump into, this podcast is all about trying to inspire entrepreneurs or people who wanted to own a business. Any advice that you can give to someone that wants to start a business based on all the knowledge and success that you've had?
don't start your business unless you can market your business, because it's difficult to just wait for somebody to walk in. But if you can market it and let everybody know where you are and what you do and how you treat them and so on and so forth, then you will create more room in your life to build that business.
That's such great advice. And I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us, to share your story and all your successes as well. And if you could provide your phone number for our listeners to be able to get a hold of you.
The phone number is 407-716-5705. 716-5705.
Well, sir, thank you so much for taking your time out of your, like I said, out of your schedule to talk to us. And we wish you much success in the near future.
You're quite a guy, you know that, don't you?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing me to talk.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. Anytime.
You're a wonderful man.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to First Media Consulting Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, subscribe today. To nominate a business you would like to recommend to be on our show, go to firstmediaconsulting.com or call. Thank you for listening.